Hey guys, it's Chey. Welcome to the channel if you are new, and if you're not, hey boo. So I have a special guest here with me. This is my daughter Leilani. She wanted to come and say hello to you guys, so say hi to everybody.
Hi.
For today's video, I created this beautiful look that you see, testing some new makeup. And we're also doing kind of a life update. There's a couple things that have been happening behind the scenes that I just wanted to catch you guys up on. And in the meantime, I thought, why not play with some makeup and create a look? And I'm obsessed with how the makeup came out. So if you guys want to hear more about my life and to see these products in action, then if you like it here, if you like my vibe, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And without any further ado, we're gonna get into this life update testing new makeup. I did my skincare and this is what the skin is looking like. It looks really juicy and good, but I'm just gonna do a little bit more skin prep. To prep my face even further, I'm gonna go ahead and spray my face with this D'Alba First Spray Serum. This is a double layer serum enriched with white truffle. We're just gonna let that soak into the skin and dry down. As you can see, it does give the skin a nice glow. Now that we're in the colder months, I wanna make sure that my skin has all the hydration and moisture that it needs. I've really been loving this spray serum. Normally, I don't include my brows, but I do have a new brow product from Pink Honey. They did come out with a brow pen, so I'm gonna use their brow products for the brows. I'm first gonna take this brow fluff, and this is pretty much like a brow wax that you can just put in your brows. So what you do is you take your spoolie and insert it into the brow wax. And I like to start from the tail of my brow and then work it in. And this is a really good like brow lamination product. It really has your brows laid in place. And you just want to make sure that you really coat the brows. Before we do the brows any further, I'm just going to go ahead and prime the face because the spray has dried down. But as you see, I still have that beautiful glow to the skin. And to further enhance the glow, I'm going to be taking this L'Oreal LUMI GLOTION. Y'all, I have really been loving this product. And this just gives you that glow from within under your makeup. And paired along with your skin prep, like, it just looks so good. The skin, oh my god, like look at what that Lumi Glotion just does to the skin. And it kind of evened out my skin tone a little bit. While that Lumi Glotion is setting on the face, I'm gonna be taking the Pink Honey Brow Detailer. This is a fine tipped brow pen that delivers hair-like strokes with ease, filling gaps and defining brows with control. The quick drying smudge proof formula uses high quality pigment for lasting natural results. Personally, I love a good brow pen. You see Nico, he is just a boy that loves his mama. He's got to be near me. But I really have been loving the NYX brow pen. So let's see how this one compares to that. Already the tip on this is super fine, so I'm really liking that. Pink Honey did send me 2 shades, but I'm gonna be using dark brown, and they did send me ebony, which is like a black shade, but I never use black on my brows. I like to use like a brown or dark brown. So usually for the NYX brow pen, I do use brunette. I'm gonna start in the brow and I'm just taking some light strokes, and I'm going with the way that I laid down my brow hairs. And of course, we're gonna clean it up with concealer. And I'm not having a problem with this brow pen. It definitely looks very natural. And that looks really good. So I really like this product. And I'm kind of doing my brows a little messy, and that's okay because we're gonna clean it up with concealer. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up my brows, and then we're gonna get into this tutorial. But I wanted to show you guys these brow products in case you're wondering how I've been doing my brows. This is what the brows are looking like now that they're nice and cleaned up. I really love how they came out. I do prefer a thinner brow on me, and when I do my brows, I kind of make them a little bit more arched and straight, and they look really good. I didn't realize that I have a bunch of P.LOUISE brushes, so I have some eye brushes here, and then I got this P.LOUISE and Michaela brush set. If you guys follow me on TikTok, then you did see that I placed a P.LOUISE order and I did do a haul, and this was on sale for like $27.50, and it normally retails for like over $55. So here are the face brushes. I didn't realize that in the unboxing, but you do get face and eye brushes for $27.50, so you definitely can't beat that. I did order on the P.LOUISE USA. For eyeshadow today, I really want to play with this NOMAD Ghost Town USA palette, and I love the venticular motion on the front. And this is the color story on the inside. We're just winging it today. Before we do eyeshadow, I do like to double prime. So the first primer was that L'Oreal Glotion, and now I'm gonna take this DANESSA MYRICKS Universal Radiant Blurring Balm Powder. And I love this product because it keeps my skin nice and mattified in my T-zone, and it doesn't feel super drying. And this one does give you like a glow to the skin, but it is still mattifying. Of course, I'm going to be priming the eyes with the P.LOUISE base. This is in Rumor number 5. If you want your eyeshadow to pop, I definitely recommend using a eye primer that is 1 to 2 shades lighter, or even using a concealer. But I personally like an eye base because it does dry down matte. So if you're going to use a concealer, make sure it's a mattifying concealer. I'm using the P.LOUISE E63 to blend out this eye primer. To do this eye look, I'm going to be using these brushes from the P.LOUISE and Michaela set. I'm going to take the P.LOUISE and Michaela number 179, and we're going to dip into Stagecoach Mary. I kind of want to do something really kind of smoky. That is a beautiful color, and this is my first time using this palette, so I'm not too familiar with the formula from NOMAD, but already off the bat, like, this is a very pigmented eyeshadow, and I'm just gonna bring this into the crease. To blend out the edges, I don't want the look to be super green. I'm going to be taking Undead Sheriff to kind of blend the edges because I really don't want like a super green look. So we're going to kind of keep it like a little cool tone. This is going to be a really different look for me. I really don't dib and dab with cool tones, but I like to go outside of my comfort zone. And to blend out these edges, I'm taking the P.LOUISE 121 brush. To start adding some depth to this eye, I'm taking the P.LOUISE 114, and I'm gonna go into Arrested Decay, which is a really cool tone dark brown. And I'm just gonna focus this on the outer V and then bring it slightly right on the outer corner here. So now I'm going to cut the crease, and I'm going to take some micellar water and a Q-tip. And to cut the crease even further, I'm going to take this P.LOUISE base. This is a colored base in Birthday Blue, and I'm gonna be taking the P.LOUISE E14 to cut the crease, and you really just want to tap and stamp. Then I'm going back into Stagecoach Mary to just kind of blend the edges right here. To apply some shimmer, I'm gonna be taking the P.LOUISE and Michaela 126, and I'm gonna go into the shade Quicksilver, which is like a beautiful like blue gray shade. Oh yeah, that is gorgeous. And I'm just gonna add this all over the lid. So now I'm just going to line the eye with some black liquid liner. I'm not gonna do a wing. I'm gonna pop on some Lash 7 lashes in the style Empress. So I'm gonna do that and finish this eye off camera, and then we're gonna come back and do the base. This is what the eyes are looking like, and y'all, I really hate blue eyeshadow, but we're just gonna roll with it. I feel like the lashes look like two different lashes, but they're actually the same. I might actually take this one and just cut the edge a little bit more so that it can look more kind of like this one. So I'll probably fix that at the end. Now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of this video now that we have the eyes on. So of course we're going to color correct. I'm gonna be taking the e.l.f. Soft Glam color corrector. This is in dark pink, and y'all, this is pretty much still like a orange color corrector. So I'm gonna just apply some underneath the eyes. And y'all, I have like a mark right here on my nose, by my nose and my pore area, and it's a bruise because y'all, I have really been on a mission to just take care of myself. For the past like year and a half, like I've just been on this health journey. I went to the doctor because I just wasn't feeling like myself. I was always super tired. I do have like an iron deficiency, but even just taking that wasn't helping. So I was like, I don't understand what's going on with my body. I know that I have PCOS, so I wasn't really sure how that affects my body. And the doctor suggested, you know, that I should do a sleep study because he was like, you know, sometimes we stop breathing at night and we don't know. And I'm like, I don't think I have that. I'm like, I would know if I'm not breathing at night. But he suggested that I set up an appointment and do a sleep study. And I had to wait a year for that sleep study. So I actually did it in January, and y'all, your girl has sleep apnea. I would wake up with headaches and just feeling extremely like still tired. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I grind my teeth at night. I thought that the headaches were due to me clenching and things like that. So that's why I want to get Botox in my jaw to help with the clenching, and also because I'm literally destroying my teeth. I'm not gonna have much teeth left with the way that I grind. I will chew through mouth guards, so it's something's gotta give. But yes, so since being diagnosed with sleep apnea, I have been using my CPAP machine for going on 3 weeks now, and the quality of my sleep is so different. I'm gonna do some underpainting, so I'm gonna take this Maybelline lifter stick. I've really been liking this. Out of a score of 15, I scored a 8.4, and I really didn't know what that meant until I got my CPAP machine, and basically that number means that I stopped breathing about 8.5 times per hour. Okay, so yeah, I definitely needed this CPAP machine. I'm gonna be using the Made by Mitchell MFX2. I really like this dual-ended brush. I need to get like 3 of these because it's really good, and I love how it just blends out. Just getting used to sleeping with something that goes over my nose is like really different, and y'all, it is very interesting. Okay, it is very interesting, and I wouldn't have thought like this would be where I'm at, and I'm only 31. Sleep apnea, well, the doctors have been making it seem like sleep apnea is like due to your weight, but I don't really fall into that category of the weight part. So I don't know. They want me to redo my sleep study once I lose a little bit more weight. Speaking of weight loss, I have lost a little bit over 30 pounds. So I want to say about 35 pounds in the last 6 months. And y'all, that has been very interesting. I am on like Ozempic to help with my weight loss journey. I do have PCOS. I also found out that I have a thyroid issue, which also contributes to why I can't lose weight. So basically, I just have a whole hormonal imbalance for my body. So I have to take medication to just regulate my body to function the way it's supposed to. Having PCOS, your body is going to produce extra sugar in the body. So working out is a must in order to keep your sugar levels down. And having sleep apnea, y'all, it literally contributes to like heart attacks and strokes, because when you stop breathing, for those moments you're not breathing, your body isn't getting oxygen to the brain. So when there's no oxygen being distributed to the body, you're at a higher risk for stroke, you're at a higher risk for a heart attack. And y'all, I am too young to be going through any of that. And I have a daughter that I very much want to be here for. So getting my health in order is definitely a priority for me. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, when it comes to this weight loss, it is very different, okay? I've always struggled with my weight, and so now that I'm slimming back down to like my pre-pregnancy weight, like I can't believe it. Like I haven't been this small in like 9 years, okay? Well, on and off, because my weight always fluctuated, but I will say these past 4 years, so pretty much since my husband got out the military, is when my weight has just gone up and up more. And that was due to me having a miscarriage. So I did have a miscarriage around the time when he was getting out the military, which of course put me into a depression. And then we had a friend that committed suicide around that time as well. So it was just a lot. It was just a lot going on, and moving and stress really plays a big part. So I feel like now that we've moved into a better area and a better school system, and my daughter's flourishing in this area, I feel like I'm really able to focus on myself. For foundation, I'm going to be taking this H&B Cosmetics foundation. This is their Silky Matte Weightless Foundation. I'm in the shade MF18W. I'm gonna mix a little bit of the LA Girl blue pigment. This is what the shade looks like without me using any blue pigment, and it looks pretty good. Just to neutralize it a little bit more, I'm just gonna add 1 pump of the pigment. And this is what it looks like with that blue pigment added. To blend out my foundation, I'm gonna be taking the Michaela and P. Louise 685. And we are just going to tap this in. Now this is more of a fluffy brush. I would normally use something a little bit more denser for foundation, but when it's fluffy, it just really diffuses nicely, and I can't complain because everything is blending really good. Now, even though I am on like Ozempic and everything, you still have to work out, because if you don't, like, the medicine is going to eat into your muscle. And so that's why it's important to weight train as well. For me, I don't want to just drop like 50 pounds in 3 months. I want to go slow and steady, because this is a lifestyle change, and eventually, like, I'm gonna have to maintain this on my own. I didn't even use all of that foundation. I probably used like half of it. And I'm just gonna build that up in my problem areas, which are around my cheeks. I'm gonna go back with that Maybelline lifter stick because I really like to be bronzed up. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, at first I was kind of embarrassed to you know, ask or to have suggested like a weight loss shot, but I have been trying to lose weight on my own for years, and the most I've ever been able to lose is like 20 pounds, and that's me literally like working out vigorously like 6 days a week and barely eating. I just can't sustain working out and eating that way. So, and then having a thyroid issue on top of it to enhance me not losing weight was just even crazier. For concealers, I'm gonna be trying out the Sephora collection Best Skin Ever concealers, and these are the newly reformulated ones. So I picked up the shades 19N and 14Y. Now 19N is very much on the orange side. I think I want to get like a lighter shade like 17 or something, because this is pretty much like orange, okay? And I do not want like an orange concealer, but that's what happens when you pick your shades out online. Before blending out the concealer, I'm going to be taking this Morphe Life Proof Spray. I really like this, but not to set the face. I like to use this to melt my powders and to also use to blend my cream products. I don't recommend using that Morphe as like a last step finishing spray. It does not help with the longevity of your makeup, but it is great at like refreshing the face. And I like this one a lot better than the black one, because I find the black can kind of like dries out my face for whatever reason. So I really have been enjoying this setting spray, but not what it's advertised to do. And y'all, I'm not gonna lie, since I've been losing this weight, I have a little bit of body dysmorphia, because my whole life, like having a German mom, you know, she's European, I was always the curvy one. I've never been like a size 0. I've never been real petite or small. I've always had a little stomach and I've had the hips. I was always called out for my weight, especially once I entered high school. My mom was not having me being curvy, and I don't think, to her defense, like she is used to the petite women. She grew up petite, and she comes from a very different generation. But unfortunately, I did get body shamed a lot from her and told like I can't wear certain things, and you know, that's all fine, but there's a way to do it, especially like since I'm more curvy. Instead of telling me like we don't want to draw unwanted attention, she would just be like, no, you can't wear that because it doesn't suit your body type. And then I would ask her like, well, what is my body type? Like, she didn't even want me wearing skinny jeans, okay? Now that I'm getting smaller and I'm not really sure like what size I'm in, because I'm kind of in between sizes now, and I find myself just buying clothes that are too big for me, because in my mind, I'm bigger than what I look like, even though I am losing weight. That's kind of something I'm struggling with at the moment when it comes to my weight. And I didn't really think I would experience it at all, but yeah, it's definitely intense. For cream blush, I do have the new Morphe Cheek Thrills in Yacht Day. And then I also have this one this is After Party. So they are very similar. This one's just a little bit more peachy terracotta, and this one's just a little bit lighter and more pinky. Normally I would go for the more pinky, but I think I'm gonna try this one. I really like the Mirror Touch. It gives like luxe, and it reminds me of like Patrick Ta. And this shade is very much Patrick Ta coated. So these two are cream, so you get a cream shimmer and a cream matte. So I'm gonna take the cream matte, and I like a smaller brush for this. So I'm taking the Morphe V108. Apply that here, and look at that. That is like a beautiful terracotta color. So if you are new to like blush and you don't want anything too overpowering, this is like a black girl nude blush in my opinion. For some reason, even though the weather is warming up, I still have these allergies. Now it's not as bad as it was, so I'm gonna take that as a win. The nose is definitely still dripping and running. My eyes are not as itchy, so that's pretty good. I'm gonna be taking this Jordana TICIA powder duo. This does come with a pressed and loose version, and I'm gonna be using the shade Marshmallow. I like to use the loose first and then the press. And as you can see, it is very nice and blurring. And this is supposed to be like a light pink undertone, but to me this gives more peachy than pink. And either way, I'm here for it. I like to use this powder to set the center of my face. I do have a new powder bronzer to try out, and that is going to be from R.E.M Beauty, and this is in the shade Coconut. I really like this packaging. It gives futuristic. This looks so beautiful. I'm going to take the Michaela and P.LOUISE 638 brush to apply my powder bronzer. This is more of an angled brush. I'm definitely tapping off the excess because I don't know how this bronzer is going to perform, but so far, like, that looks really good. And I'm just using tapping motions. And I will say, like, in the past, I really loved a good contour, and I would use bronzers that are a little bit too deep for my skin tone. So I'm trying to be a little bit more light-handed when it comes to bronzer. And another life update, Nico is officially 1 year old. He turned 1 in January. And I can't believe that I have this cute little puppy for a whole year. I was really torn on if I was gonna get another puppy, but because I just couldn't imagine Minnie, she's like a pit bull mix. She was a stray that found us whenever I was walking Ace, and I just can't imagine her as my last dog. And then I was just really missing my Pomeranian. She did pass away before we moved into this beautiful home. I was missing having another little puppy in the house. So I'm really glad that I have Nico, and he is definitely a mama's boy. He is spoiled. He literally bullies the other dogs. Like, he wants all the attention. He paws at me like when I'm filming, and just wants me to pick him up all the time. And I've always wanted a dog that, you know, loved to be picked up, and that's definitely Nico. So I got what I always wanted, and he's very feisty. He is a Yorkie, Maltese, and Poodle mix, so he's a mutt, okay? And I love a good mutt, okay? The dogs that I have are all mixed. I've never been one that needs to have like a purebred dog. So I personally like having my mutts. So now we're gonna go back into the blush. I'm gonna take the P.LOUISE and Michaela 675 brush. Now this is also good for like under eye with pressed powder, but I'm gonna use it for blush. That way I can really get right up under here. I'm gonna take the Morphe Yacht Day powder blush, and I'm just gonna use that to set the blush, and look at how gorgeous that looks. It's so blurring, and that color just, it does something to me. Since moving here, I feel like everything is coming together. We just got some really great news from Leilani's school, and y'all, my baby is academically gifted. Like, what? I definitely did not see this coming. Leilani has always kind of struggled when it came to school, and then just having that experience with her being bullied, and, you know, the teachers just not being on top of their stuff. Since moving here, she's been making a bunch of waves. Leilani does have dyslexia and ADHD, so she's been on medication and in the school program to help her with her learning disabilities. So to see her going from barely passing last year to making straight A's for the whole school year. Like, I am so proud of her. I'm so proud of all the work she's put in. I'm absolutely over the moon for my baby girl, and we're gonna celebrate her this weekend. We might take her to like an arcade or have her choose what she wants to do and take her out to eat and just let her know how proud we are of her. We already gave her some money that she's been using on her games, so she's pretty easy, so she's already content with that. I did ask her if there's anything else she wants to do to let me know. I grew up so different than the type of parent that I am for Leilani. Like, my parents were super strict on me. Having straight A's was the bare minimum, okay? And only for me, because I have 2 younger siblings and they got to slack off a little bit and it was fine. But for me, being the oldest, like, I had it pretty rough. I always would push myself to make hundreds because that's what they expected. They expected 100%. Like, they don't want to see no 98 or 92. Like, I had to have 100. I think one time I brought a B home on a test, and the way I got chewed out, my mom literally yelled at me as if I failed, and that was pretty traumatizing. So my parenting style with Leilani is pretty laid back. We're gonna go ahead and work on the lower lash lines. I'm going back into Stagecoach Mary and just applying that on the lower lash line. My parents were so hard and rough on me, and I don't want to be like that for Leilani. So of course I want her to try her best. Like, I don't want her to have the same experience that I had. Now I'm going into Arrested Decay, and I'm just tapping this close to the lash line. I'm definitely going to be getting some stares today, but that's all right. To dust off and set the face, I'm going to be taking the P.LOUISE and Michaela 681, and I'm going to go into my One Size powder foundation. This is in the shade Dark One Golden, and I'm just using that to dust off. I did use this Jordana TICIA powder all over the face to set my face before, and it kind of lightened my face, I think. So I want to make sure that I'm using a powder foundation to kind of set these areas. We are so proud of my baby girl, and she just keeps surprising me with her amazingness, and I'm so proud of her. Like, this was something that I never expected. Like, I knew she had it in her, and it was up to her on what she wanted to do, but I'm not gonna lie, y'all, my girl, when she doesn't want to do something, it's not happening. And unfortunately, she gets that from me. I'm very stubborn, so, but I never try to pressure her at all. I love that she tries to make it a habit to just try her best every day, no matter if she wants to or not. So now we're gonna go and brighten up the under eye. So I'm gonna take a powder puff and this Jordana TICIA powder. I'm just going to press that, and as you can see, it is lightening up the center just a little bit. Now, this is more of a natural brightening powder. Normally I like to go a little bit more like brightening. This is really perfect, and you can't really overdo it. For lipstick, I want to try out this Anastasia lipstick. This is their satin lipstick in the shade Haze, which is a like really like peachy nude. To line my lips, I'm going to be taking this Remedy by R.E. lip liner in the shade Baby Girl, and this is super pigmented. So I'm just going to go with a light hand. We only have 2 more grading periods until the school is over, and I feel like it's just flying by. I gotta start planning for her birthday and figuring out what we're gonna do for the summer, because it's gonna be here before you know it. This lipstick is such a beautiful nude shade. It's kind of cool tone looking, so I'm kind of nervous, but we're gonna try her on. Oh, she is milky. Oh my god, this is like MAC blankety. That is definitely a nude and it is very cool tone. We're definitely gonna add a gloss to this. We're gonna take this H&B Cosmetics lip gloss in the number 10, and I'm gonna use this to outline the lip liner, and I really like doing this. To warm up the lip, I'm going to be taking this lip gloss from Pink Honey. This is in the shade Buttons, and we're just going to add this on top. Yeah, this looks perfect because it matches the cheeks. This lip gloss is actually really good. It's super hydrating and just really glossy. I do have a new highlighter, and that is going to be from NYX. This is their Buttermelt highlighter in Glaze It Butter. So this is pretty much like a champagne highlighter, and I'm going to be taking the P.LOUISE and Michaela 699. And y'all, the birds are outside going crazy. My dogs love to chase the birds outside, so they are just itching for me to let them out. So they keep pacing back and forth. That is such a beautiful highlighter color. We're gonna add a little bit on to the cheek. Oh yeah, that is gorgeous. And I am using a light hand, believe it or not. So this is so good. And I'm just gonna see, he's ready to go. Nico is like, I want to go outside, Mom. You're taking too long. So I'm just adding a little bit of highlighter on the brow bone. I like to go back in with my blush and just kind of blend out the highlighter so it's not like a stripe on the face. I'm gonna go back in with my Morphe Life Proof spray just to melt all the powders together. And to lock everything in, I'm gonna go ahead and take my L'Oreal Infallible just to secure this face. And as you guys can see, he is ready to go. Nico, you can go outside. Yeah. They are ready to go outside. I'm gonna lock in my face and change and do my clothes, and then we're gonna close out this video. Nico. And this is the final look. What do you guys think? I am obsessed with how this look came out. The skin, the glow, the color matte. Honestly, using that blue pigment has really saved my Nico. Honestly, I guess he's gonna be joining us for our video today. Honestly, the LA Girl blue pigment has really saved a lot of my foundation. So as you can see, it is cohesive with my chest. We're gonna go over the products that I used today. Hi, Bubba. Hi, Bubba. They did go outside, but they were barking and going crazy. So I'm not letting them out again. So he's gonna be probably doing this, being my stage 5 clicker. The Nomad Ghost Town palette really is absolutely gorgeous. I didn't have any issues with blending. I went into this shade right here called Rhyolite Nevada. I just popped that on my inner corner just to kind of lighten up the look a little bit. I do want to play with like the more neutral and rosy tones. I really enjoyed this palette. These P.LOUISE brushes definitely did their big one. Everything blended out seamlessly and the look is flawless. The Morphe Yacht Day Cheek Thrills palette, y'all, this is so stunning. This definitely reminds me of a Patrick Ta blush, but for an affordable price. The NYX Buttermelt highlighter, as you can see, okay, it speaks for itself. It glided on, so I'm really not mad at it. The lip combo, I'm absolutely obsessed with. The R.E.M beauty bronzer, the skin is giving sun-kissed, and honestly, the brows look top tier. The Jordana TICIA powder just made the skin look absolutely flawless and blurred. The Morphe Life Proof spray is more of a powder melting spray in my opinion. So if you have really oily skin, this is not going to be something you want to just use on its own. You definitely want to use like the L'Oreal 3-second mist, the one size on Till Dawn spray, or even using the DANESSA MYRICKS liquid blurring balm powder. Those are 3 that I would recommend if you want your makeup to actually last all day. As far as the Sephora collection concealers, I do like them. They do dry down a little bit fast. I really like this shade. It looked more neutral on my skin, but 19N is just a little warm, so if I was gonna get a shade, I would probably go a little bit lighter, but the coverage on it is absolutely gorgeous. I am actually obsessed with this HMB Silky Matte Foundation. Like, the skin just gives porcelain baby doll with this. These are my thoughts on these new products that I've been trying out, and a little life update. Let me know if you guys like videos like this where I'm trying new makeup and giving you a little life update. I am so proud of my baby girl, and I'm very proud of myself for taking my health seriously and just doing the things that I need to do to stay healthy. If you guys are going through anything in life, just remember, take it one day at a time. Your mental health matters, and things do get better. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video and see all the chaos that my life includes with these dogs. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.